So I want to share. I'll share quickly, like it won't take me long, because I've thought a bit about it. But it's for me, it's been the word growth, and I'm just getting it from everywhere. Growing in, like with my kids, I'm seeing them. You know that we talked about resilience before. Ro talked about resilience, and to me, and what Deb was sharing, and all that stuff about hitting walls, and I'm just finding with challenges of life and everything, there's just this great call for me to keep going, grow. I want you to grow, like, so it's never to shrink back, but to grow. Um, and that's, yeah, just a word over me that I'm seeing absolutely everywhere in my life at the moment. Um, and it's not this whip. It's not this whip. It's just this uh, encouragement. Like, come on, keep growing. And then for what reason? I don't know yet. All I know is just keep growing. So that's just this thing over me at the moment. Love to hear from you guys if you want to share anything like that. But just, yeah, closing words maybe.
Love it, Danny. I'm seeing firsthand some of that. So it's awesome. Yeah. Um, I think for me, God's saying I'm in a season of new things and new capacity and trying to learn where to throw my energies. So if you're grow, I'm throw. I feel like God's trying to yeah trying to get me to unpack a larger vision and be part of a larger vision. I don't know what that what how that might be, but I'm feeling an infusion of energy and in capacity into the days ahead. I just seeking God as to what I'm like, okay, what's my next project? What's my next project? But I just do know that I feel like, this is the latter half of my lifetime, and I want I want God's wisdom on how to use it and how to use it well.
How about Kinson or Chenny or Roe even? Any thoughts, guys?
On the spot, I have made a couple of different changes in my life very recently. And 3 or 4 weeks ago, I committed to leading a group of 12 young adults, almost 25. And so, there's a lot of them.
Wow.
And it was, I was actually called to do it. And I don't often talk about that and use that word to describe things I'm doing because I might be in a sense of flow or something. But
So
there was a problem where there are young adult leaders who are trending down in number. And so there are young adults who at our church who are then leaving because they don't have groups. They're not being mentored. And there is this really big chasm between young adult age and adults. And most of them have grown through our church or been right, in church in some way. And their identity is being wrapped up in what they do at church. And then they get very wrapped up in doing leadership straight after church. And I had not planned to do any of this at all. And I was playing drums at church and spoke to the bass player after one morning and said, "Hey, I heard that young adults are suffering. You guys don't have a group. It's a bit up in the air because he's a young adult guy." He said, "Yes, we're really struggling. Someone just left," and then bang, it just came over me and hit me like square in between the eyes, and I just felt as though I need to be doing life with them, not word and going academic, but just doing life with young adult guys. And I felt as though there's this journey that I've shared often with especially with you guys about some of the people in my small group, close friends and their struggles, and I felt like I've been on the other side of that, where I'm still supporting them, but when it's not in the absolute battle. And for some reason it's been a calling. So my first week is next week, and That's I think a reflection on what God's doing in my heart from an identity point of view. Is He's bringing me closer to Him by
So good.
and I'm finding I'm making sacrifices in my life to do those things. And
That's amazing, bro. So
blessing.
cool.
Hopefully they don't kick me out.
I love it.
I got goosebumps.
Oh,
That
Yeah.
was
Okay.
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
that was so good, man. So good.
Well, a lot of our chats guys have like really nurtured me through this as well. Is helped me to process things, to think differently, and see where it all lands, and talk about identity and all of that sort of thing that we have done for many weeks, months. Yeah, it's helping me to grow.
Wow. Whew.
Thanks.
That's so good. We'll be praying for you.
Thank you.
I'm sure they will be blessed, and it's all it takes. You don't have to be, like Superman. You just have to walk with them and
Yeah.
make your life
Hopefully.
available. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
Kinson or Chenny, what have you guys got?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, probably the words that God is sort of really instilling in me, I think, is actually just trust Him for the fruits. And yeah, I mean, I think for me, there's a lot of things I'm doing at the moment, in terms of different businesses and projects, and I think, and just interacting with a lot of different people. There's a lot of things going on as well, just even with our kids and school, and close friends, who are going through things. And I think, when I take a step back, I kind of think, well, I don't know, how am I carrying all that, and sort of just, going from thing to thing. And I think the thing that God is putting on my heart is, just trust, just keep walking and just trust Him, to, bring the fruit. Because often you kind of might think, okay, well, I think I know what I deem as success from something. And, it's not always what we expect. And I think what God's imprinting on me is, keep seeking keep seeking Him to know what to put my efforts to, but don't worry about the results, and just trust Him for the results. And even if they may not be, necessarily positive, right? I think there's, some projects, for example, where, there's potential losses, right? And in business, but, out of that, I can already see a lot of positive. And, and that's just constant, that's a day-to-day thing where we constantly walk through that and just trust that God will bring the fruits. And, and it's just keep walking. It's a bit similar. Just even as you were talking, Ro, I think, like, yeah, that's so great. Just spend the time with people and be there for them, and just trust that, there'll be fruits coming out of it. But it's not like you need to tick, 7 boxes that you've done with them, like it's just being there and being fruitful, being who you are, sharing, and, and I think that's to me, I think if you summarize the importance of the inner circle, and I think when we can really get it, is that, if we can just be and live out our faith, unhindered, then people will see the fruits. And then we don't need to worry about an activity of evangelism or an activity of mission, or, the activities often are trying to cover up for something where it's trying to facilitate shifts, right? But that's actually, really trying to cover up another problem, right? So when we get to the core of the problem and we can just live out our faith, then, I think that's when, amazing things are going to happen, and God will just do it, whatever He's got planned. Trust Him for the fruits.
Praise God, man. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great word, man. That's great. I love it.
Yeah, I guess before I get into my word, I wanted to say, Rowan, that I was hugely influenced by like one particular mentor, and at that like young adult stage. And until I met him, I didn't realize how much of a gap that there was. Right? It's like, so
Mm.
if I can help out in any way, sometimes like one of the things he did was he wasn't the only voice. He brought in like other kind of like mentors or folks who are just like a life stage just above us as like
Mm.
at the time it was like single men and women. Um and yeah, if I can help out in any way, definitely feel free to reach out.
Can I
Uh
add to that? I second that as well. Like Rowan, I'm happy to do that. And I was even thinking as you were talking, you know, like if you wanted to, you know, have a Barbie here or something, you know, like it's, you know, or
Awesome.
you know, like where we can all interact. I think that'd be good, but we can talk about that offline.
yeah.
Sorry, over to you, Kinsey.
Yeah, I think the word that came to mind when Rowan kind of threw out this question was purpose. I am going to be going to China soon, next week actually, to kind of spend some more time with my mom, and then kind of mention that family business that I left. I mean, I'm probably not. I don't know if I'm going to go back, but I have to help out because it's kind of like it needs help. Let's say it that way. How much help it needs will be determined once I kind of check it out. But that was the word that kind of came. It's just like, what is my purpose there,
Mm.
right? Not just to be like a consultant of sorts, but what's God's greater purpose for why I am um, heading there, and what that looks like was kind of what popped into mind. So thanks for a
Awesome.
great question.
Yeah,
Can I
that's cool. That's cool.
could I just say something quickly to Kinson? Kinson, I feel that that you've got this beautiful heart, Kinson. Like you're just such a yeah, you've just got such a soft heart, you know. And I think that and I love what Adrian said. I want to link it back to what Aid said because I really feel that if you just be you, Kinson, and just focus on being soft and open, and I believe that purpose comes every day in all these small ways. So soft and open, you'll just start to see it all. You know, like it's not, you know, and I think of heaven. I don't know what image you think of, but I do think of the multitude, and I think of the raising of hand before the throne, and I think of what we will want is how many people we would what we would want in our hearts as we see Him. How many more we would have wanted to know Him too. And so I feel the expression of our individual gifting is to increase the flow into the kingdom, you know? Um, and it starts with one person at a time. I love that, what Aids was sharing. It's just be you as you, unhindered you. Man, opportunities coming, you know, and insights will come as to how that plays out. And platform's not a bad thing, Kinson. I think platform is not a bad thing. We'll get some cheap clothes from you too. So go back into the business.
So good.
Noted. We only do women's clothes, but I'll figure something out for you, Danny.
Love it.
All right.
So good. I think that's all we have time for. Yeah.
That's a wrap.
All right.
That's a wrap. All right.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, Ro. See you guys.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for
Thanks,
leading
everyone.
us.
See you, everyone.
Thank you. See ya.
Thanks
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
Have a good
Next
night.
time, guys.